Good evening, Christmas light hangers, people that like Christmas lights. Christmas lights. It is almost time of that year of Christmas is right around the corner. It is less than 2 weeks away, or less than a week away. Next Friday is Christmas. And so this is a awesome time of year to go look at the work that you've done. Go look and see how well your work is. Now, I understand some people's work is might be at your house and you get to see it every day. But this is even a good time of year to drive around and see our work. And it is also a good time of year to drive around and see other people's work. What looks good, what doesn't, what they might need some help. That looks amazing. What can I do something like that next year? And so this is really a great time of year to do that. And when we're doing that, obviously, if you installed lights on stuff, this is a good time to drive around and take pictures. So, how you want to take pictures, different ways to take pictures. So, I've taken a lot of pictures with my cell phone. I've had professionals come in and take pictures of different things. And so, one time of night, the really best time to get that picture is right, not quite when it's 100% dark, but right before that. So, around here, it can be 5:30, 5:20 to 5:45, 6 o'clock. It's not completely dark, but it's getting dark. And that is a really good time. So if you have one that you're like, man, this is going to be an amazing house to get a picture of it, that is when the time we want to go and get that picture. We want that on our schedule first, and we want to go there first, right around. Like I said, we don't want it so dark that it's you don't get no background, and that is why we want to have it where you can see this picture here. I took it. It was right there at that six. This was probably about 6 o'clock because this was a couple months ago and it hadn't gotten dark so soon, or this was a month ago and it wasn't so dark so soon. But this is a good time to get these pictures. If we wait till 7, 8 o'clock at night, then you know, the pictures will be okay, but the pictures will look a lot better if we get these houses right when the sun is starting to set. And so that is how we want to do it. Some things, some tips and tricks that we can do for this here. This is the iPhone 11, and I'm going to say it's probably the same for the iPhone 12. Is one thing we want to do is set it up on a stand, because what happens is like these here have nighttime mode and it takes like 4 or 5 seconds for it to shoot it, and if it's moving at all or doing any of that kind of stuff, it will mess with that picture and it won't make it look good. So if we put it up on a tripod, hit the button, don't touch it, that is going to make that picture look a lot better. And so that is something that we want to make sure that we are doing. It is, this does help our pictures look a lot better. Obviously, if you have nicer cameras, you can do the same thing. Again, you're going to want to keep it on a tripod so that way we can make sure that it is looks good and all that kind of stuff. But again, this is a great time of year to go get those pictures. So for next year, when you're trying to do marketing and pictures and you're Google My Business, and these are some places we can put all those pictures of, we want to be able to get those 100 pictures. This is how we're going to get those 100 pictures. And so when we do that, we can tag them, we can make them look good and all of that. And, this is the other time. Some of the countries getting snow. So, get them during no snow and then get them with snow. And so that way, it'll look two different, it'll look completely different, two different ways. The snow with the light I have on here is, it would look good because you'd have all the ground stakes with snow around them, and it would make it look completely different, and it'd make it more Christmassy looking and all of that kind of stuff. If you live in a place without snow, you don't have to worry about that. First year put out 200 signs, had 15 customers, 26,000 in revenue, only one callback. Now trying to figure out what's the best takedown and storage process. So the one thing I'd be say is on the storage side of things is don't stick them in plastic bags because that will allow moisture out. I've stuck them in totes. The the totes that are best to stick them in is some type that will allow air in and out. We don't really want to put them in a tote that, I put them in totes, but I'll drill a hole in the bottom of the tub because I want to make sure that there's no chance of water sitting in the bottom of that tub and corroding them all up. And so that's one thing that I'll do. I put them in cardboard boxes so that way they can dry also. Um, Honestly, I like the tote with a hole in them, or get the totes that can breathe. The purpose of them allowing them to breathe is obviously if there's water and moisture in that container, those lights will not work next year, or most of those lights will not work next year. So that is one thing. On the side of the C9s, I mean, I know people that put them in the box. I like to put them around a tube. I've done a video, 18-inch tube with 2 T's on the end, so that way I can wrap them up, and then that way they kind of stay. I can write the name of the customer on the end of it, and then that way I can do it. If I'm going right to left or left to right, whichever way I'm going to take down, obviously I can either put an R on the end, and that means I took them down right to left. So next year when I go back and put them up, I can go the opposite side and then stick them up, and they'll fit right back up on the house. I've done some videos on my channel here of how to take down and what to do for takedown. So you can definitely check that out. But that is awesome that you did $2,600 with 200 signs. And now it's just a matter of just scaling, because that means, next year you've got that money ready to go next year. Can't wait to launch my Christmas business in 2021. Looking forward to any Christmas lights trainings from Virginia. So I will be having I talked to Donovan last night. We will be having a training in early spring, in March in Raleigh. There's a good chance I will be having a training in Virginia come sometime in the summertime. I don't know what part exactly it's going to be in Virginia, but I do have another guy that's installing up there that said he'd be willing to do some training. He's an awesome dude, Paul. Very knowledgeable. He is somebody you want to get around. Very business-minded person. Very down to earth. Very cool to talk to. Very cool to. He'll answer any questions with you. So he actually owns a sign company, and then he did Christmas lights this year. So he knows lots about LEDs and all of that kind of stuff. So that will be something that will definitely be happening. Training in Boston, it'll probably be Connecticut. I'm probably going to do a training in Connecticut, and that'll probably be September time, and that will be in probably Connecticut is where that will be at. Don't know what part of Connecticut it is, but I do know I have a guy that is willing to have a training up there in Connecticut. So I don't know how close that is to you, but that's the other spot. So it'll be Virginia and Connecticut. I don't know if I'm going to have anything on the other side of the country, on the West Coast. I think that is awesome. Raleigh is only 2.5 hours away from me. Yeah, and like I say, I originally didn't plan on doing, with Fred. That's who it'll be with. So that's who that one will be with, is with Fred. So I'll do one with Fred, and then we're going to do one with Donovan. What's up, Mr. Scott? Thanks. Raleigh is only 2.5 hours from where I live, and so that's where my other training is going to be at. So, but that's what's going to happen. That, like I say, the one in Raleigh will be in the spring, It's going to be pressure washing, gutter cleaning, and Christmas lights. And the gutter the gutter cleaning will be gutter cleaning, but will be mostly safety. Ladder. I mean, we'll do ladder safety on both of the other ones, and that. But we're really going to hit the safety thing in the middle one. That's the one that the safety, because at the end of the day, when we're doing this stuff, that is the most important. Marketing is important. Safety is more important. If we fall off a roof, it don't matter nothing about marketing, nothing about any of that stuff at that point. So marketing is important. Safety is even more important. And safety is something that I'm going to probably try to push really hard this year of talking about safety and keeping that in the mindset of it. Because at the end of the day, I don't want you all to get hurt. It's not fun. I don't want you all to get hurt. Period. So, but so that said, I didn't have a whole lot on here tonight. Again, I know this is a good time to get your pictures. If you're going to start a business, if you're going to do Christmas lights next year, drive around, take pictures. I mean, I don't usually like to tell you to do that of other people's work, but if you ain't got no pictures, it's better. You're better off putting something up versus nothing. Now, if you want to, you can go to, I don't even know where it is, right here. Um, that cut off my face. ChristmasLightsHelp.com/free. Get 30 days, and I have all the pictures in there. I have a bunch of pictures in there. So I do have a bunch of pictures in there that you can use for your Google My Business. Have you done lights for Valentine's Day? Are there pink C9 bulbs? Have a jewelry company asked? Yes, I've done pink as in the breast cancer is what I use the pink for. But yes, you can get pink. You can also just do red for Valentine's. You could probably do red and pink, kind of alternate them, maybe, I don't know. But you can do pink also. Definitely can do pink, 100%. I've done it. Like I say, we had a breast cancer place that actually makes the tools for breast cancer. That however they do it, and we did all pink. We did a big pink ribbon, and put lights in it, and that way it had a big pink ribbon and also. So it was actually pretty cool, and it was like 50 feet up in the air, but we could get roof access to it to get it done. Seems like the light shows are getting popular. Do you think that will take off? I don't think it'll take off in the fact of us installing them. And here's why. I've looked at it. I got a big light show guy right up the road from me. He actually installed lights this year on a lot of people, and it is something that is work. It costs a lot of money. It um, it it not only costs a lot of money, but it also um, there's a lot of issues that happen, dude. If the pixel goes bad, then you got the whole line of the other pixels go bad. Now, one thing that I think that could come out of it is if you could do, and this is what I told him because he's starting to do it, is to do like a pixel tree, and you charge $1,500 for the tree to rent the tree basically, and you go set this tree up and you let it play and do its thing, and you can do different things on that tree. Even then, I mean, you can make it pretty bulletproof, but there's things that can happen to that because if you don't know how it works, it's pretty complicated. It's not as easy. It isn't a plug and play yet. Now, the Lightorama is pretty easy, and it's pretty plug and play, but it's not the pixel side of it. You can do it in the pixel side of things, but it's just a little bit more easier because basically all it is a relay shutting on and off and turning that power on and off. When you start getting into the pixels and all the different colors, that's another thing. Now, I tell you what is starting to come out a lot is the permanent lighting. The permanent lighting is starting to take off, and I know people that it costs about $6 to $7 a foot is what it ends up costing, and people are getting $20, $25 a foot for it for the permanent lighting. And then if you can do some type of, hey, we'll do a maintenance plan or something to make sure that everything's set up for everything. And that's even with the one asking about the C9s and stuff. And it is very labor intensive. It isn't a plug and play like this stuff is at all. The C9 or the pixels are not, and they're very they're not. Now, I tell you one thing that I did see that's pretty easy is the Million has actually brought a bulb out that is RGB that you can change colors. Now, you can't do all the dancing and singing. You can a little bit, but it's all basically one color or nothing. So it's either all red, all blue, all green, whatever million colors you can come up with. And so that is one thing that is done. Um, the person that did this house here actually put it on his personal house, and I mean it looks cool, but I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that you just gonna. What's the trend gonna come is the question. 2021 will be my first year. Should I get an enclosed trailer or just use the truck bed to work out of? I just use the truck bed. I mean, you can buy an enclosed and that, but if you don't want to spend money there and put money into marketing, I'd tell you to put money into marketing. Just because marketing isn't as easy as the other side of it. Um, the trailer's easy part of it. I mean, the person that put this up works out back of a truck, and it's in Indiana, so it isn't like we got the greatest weather. We'll have snow one day, ice the next, and rain the next, and then who knows what the fourth day is. Um, so um, that's what I've always done. So you're alive and I'm still awake. Holy crap! Well, that's good. Um, uh, so, but Christmas lights I think are a lot of fun. But again, this is a good time to go around and take pictures. Again, this was at nighttime, right dusk. I don't know if I got the other ones up here. No, I don't see it. Let's see. When was this picture here? I think all I got is that picture on it. This picture here was actually pretty dark. My camera, this is just off of my phone. It picked it up pretty bright. It was actually pretty dark. Now we are in Indiana, and it was a pretty full moonlight when we did it. But again, you can kind of see that some of the older phones, some of the older cell phones would make another line of lights like from where it was trying to pull in, and so that is just something that you have to do. Um, if you ever need marketing person for your website and etc., I am a very good person. Awesome, Jake Forrester. Um, hey brother, did you see the dollhouse I did on the Christmas lighting page? Love that group. I don't know if I did or not. I don't pay too much attention in that group. I do a little bit, but I don't think I paid attention to it. Um, let's see. Do lights have increase in price the closer it gets to September and October, or are they the same to purchase year round? Sometimes if you want to get a good deal on them, Teak, you got to buy them in like basically January, February, and you're basically buying them when you're pre-ordering them from when they're doing their order to China, and so that's really the only time you're going to get a good discount. Good discount is in that time period. Otherwise, they're going to be the same no matter what. Um, this year they kind of went crazy and people were selling out, but nobody really raised their prices, even though they sold out of a bunch of stuff. So um, that is just what it is. But again, you can kind of see this wreath. It didn't really do good right here. it doesn't really show up good because this camera didn't pick all that light up. And also the other thing about this is this house set off about it probably was about 200 to 300 feet off the road, and I didn't want to be too much of a creepster, so I just took the picture from the road, and I had to zoom in a little bit, and so. But again, you can see how much this lights up. I mean, this is in the middle of a cornfield, and it lights everything up and around. So, you know, it is one of those things that taking pictures at night is definitely um, it's better if we can do it right before day, right there at nighttime, 5:36, depending on what time it is that gets dark at your spot. But this is definitely something that you want to do it in that time. Because if we can do it in that time frame, it gives you a lot of up here in the top. It gives you a lot better picture at the end of the day. What was about your dollhouse? Actually, I think I did see it. But you can see this is a good time too. Like I was saying earlier, this is a good time to see what looks good and what don't. This here with the stake lighting, I never really pushed stake lighting, and now that I know about stake lighting, what it looks like, I would push it a lot. If I had to do a lot of light, if I started a Christmas light business, this is what I would do. I would do this, the roof line. I'd do a 60-inch reef, not this little crappy reef right here. And then I would do stake lighting because this looks good. It's easy, cheap, and it's not cheap, but it's easy. And, if you tried to do each individual bush here with a set of things, oh my gosh, it would be a pain in the neck. Snowstorms suck. We just got a foot of snow, and I'm starting to get the callbacks. Ouch. I'd rather have snow than rain. Of course, I'd rather not get on a roof when it's snowing. Usually, snow, I never usually had many callbacks even with snow. Usually, I never had a lot of problems with snow. Now, it wasn't a foot of snow, obviously, because a foot of snow is, I mean, you can't even see the lights. And I see where you could probably have problems where the snow starts falling off the house and pulling the lights and everything. So that could get stupid, I guess. So that's all I would offer. I don't want to get anything crazy unless market says I have to. Yeah, I would do this right here, C9s, reef, and then the C9s down here. That's what I would do. You can see, if you look at this house here, you can see the garland. I mean, it don't make it or break it. The reef up there, the reef right here, that doesn't make it or break it. If you took this out, it would make it look weird at that point. I think it looks really good. I changed my invoices to complete line items. I set the ridge as their own, greenery as their own, front roof as their own, and ground as their own, and sold so much more this year. That way, if people want to pick, it's just doing your packages is what that is because you know what? I love packages, and packages sell, and that is a great way to sell packages. Um, that I like that because, like you say, at that point you're setting it. They can pick what they want, and honestly, it's a good thing to do because if I put a reef on it, they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I want one of those too." Oh yeah, I want one of those too. Snow is awesome. Got off a 24-hour shift in EMS, then longer shift with snow removal. That's rough. Just had a timer call back today and had to put black tape around the sensor to shade the light. The other thing you can do too, Brian, is unplug it from there and make you a short extension cord out into the landscaping and put you a male and a female, plug it in there, and that way it's away from all of uh, the lights and stuff. I always, if I have to put it out into the landscaping, usually what I would do is throw it under a bush, so that way it kind of protects it a little bit from the rain and stuff. How much snow did you get up there, Teak? We got a dusting here. We got very little snow, very little snow. Like I said, we got a dusting, and that was it. It's basically gone. Um, the snow did not hit us, but but yep, we went to the Ark last night. I don't know if anybody's on my Facebook page. You can see some pictures we did there. They had some really good trees and some really good bushes and stuff like that. Um, they 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 didn't they didn't go they didn't spare on their lights. They put enough lights on the tree, and so the tree looks good. They had lots of trees, obviously, and it looked pretty cool at night. My kids really liked it, and that was definitely um, that was definitely um, that was definitely something that you want to do and look at. So um, I will. Um, I did post some pictures. I may try to see if I can post some pictures on. I don't really post many pictures on YouTube on there, but I may see if I can post some pictures. Would you please reset the quote? Yeah, I'll have to find it. I don't even know where it's at exactly, so I'll have to find it to see where it's at. I haven't messed with it in forever. 9 inches. Good way to make a snowman. Um, Wet and nastiness. Um, but well, that's all I came on was about some black. Oh, I tell you what else I'm gonna do this year. I'm Santa Claus is bringing me a drone. I'm gonna. I got the new Mavic 2 coming. It's what Santa Claus brought me. I already know what Santa Claus brought me, so I haven't gotten it yet because Mrs. Claus said I couldn't have it yet. So I'm gonna get some aerial shots and try to figure out what they look like at night with an aerial shot, and maybe not even just like real high, but high. And if I'm here, what's it look like when I'm up here shooting down on it? And so I have seen some pretty cool pictures of the night shots um, with the drones, and so that is definitely something that I would do. I'm gonna do, and all that. Should I get a bucket truck? That depends on a couple things. That depends on you can. Um, I'm not saying you should. One thing I seen one guy do this, and I think if I did a Christmas light business, I would probably do this right here. Is you can rent one of the lifts that you can drive in the yard. It's got like the 4-wheel drive tires and stuff, and it's a 60-foot lift or 50-foot, 55-foot lift, and you can pull it on a trailer. And I think it's like $2,500 or $3,000 a month to rent. And if I was going to do something, I would probably just rent something like that. You don't have to have it at all. I'm not saying you got to have a lift. I never had a lift, and I did $500,000 in Christmas lights, and we did it for 5 years until before I sold it, and I never had a lift. I would rent one for the weekend for a couple jobs that I'd have to go put up a star or go put up something on a church steeple. The one church that I did, I would rent it too. But that's the only time that I would get a lift. I would never rent. I mean, that's the only way. Now, what I would do now, if I was doing it again, is I would maybe rent a lift. Like I say, for the month, it's $3,000. I can do a lot of this stuff into there, and at that point, just like you say, just for the safety to rent them $7,000 for 60 days, I can buy my bucket van for 10 grand. The thing of a bucket truck is it's a lot heavier than that thing, and driving it into this is the issue with a $10,000 van, and I'm going to tell you what the issue is with that $10,000 van. If you put oil on somebody's driveway, you're going to wish that you never parked on that driveway. Yes, those vans shouldn't leak, but a $10,000 van is old and wore out, and that tells me that it's probably got leaks. The last thing you want to do is pull on somebody's driveway and get oil on their driveway, because that $1,000 Christmas light that you just did is not worth it at the end of the day. Like I say, yes, you can pay. And here at the end of the day, do you really need a lift for 60 days? Probably not. You could probably do it for 30 days and be fine. Get it the first week of December or November and rent it out. And even if you got to go, because here's the thing, at the end of the day, you're just starting out, you're not going to be installing in October. You'll have enough places to get it all in November, and you might be a week in December, maybe two, probably a week in December. So that is the thing. Now, I'm not saying that that's the best option. I'm saying that's what I would do because I know what a $10,000 van looks like, and it looks like usually not the best. And the other thing I'm going to say about it is if you leak oil in a driveway, you are going to be screwed. That's just my opinion. I've seen it happen over and over and over as a pressure washer of people pulling in a driveway and screwing up a driveway. I mean, I talked to a pressure washer dude that did it, and he lost almost. It was like a $20,000 driveway that he had to end up paying for. So if you don't want to pay for a $20,000 driveway, that's kind of my thought behind. That's my thought process behind it. So, do they work good? Yes, I've seen them work good. If you're afraid of heights or if you want to be the safest, then obviously a lift is going to be the best. Trying to, I mean, I teach people how to use the goat and get up there and get it done. Um, but if you're afraid of heights, that kind of stuff, a lift is definitely a lot easier to keep you safe and being able to reach it all at the end of the day. But Christmas lights are a lot of fun. A lot of people made a lot of money this year, just because this year with COVID. I think next year will be a good year too. I know COVID ain't going away, so that means people still ain't spending money. You're not going on cruises. You're not doing any of that stuff because they're not open. You are going to Disney, but that's not everybody's going to Disney. So that means that people are still making money, and the people that aren't making money obviously aren't going to be our customers. But most of your higher uppers are still making money, and so that is where we get to be. Doctors, lawyers, all of that kind of stuff are still making money, so they're still going to be putting up Christmas lights. Like I say, this year was a very, very good year. If you got into Christmas lights this year and you was able to do a little bit of marketing and do stuff, you were able to make some money. The people that were been doing it for 2 or 3 years and really put the gas pedal down made a lot of money this year. Donovan, this is technically his third year, really only technically his second, and I think he told me he did over 250 this year, $250,000 in Christmas lights. So it is definitely the money is there, and it is crazy. But I'm going to jump off here. If you want to go check out ChristmasLights.io, there ain't a whole lot on there. I'm going to put more on there over the summertime. This channel is for Christmas lights. It might become a Christmas light Jeep channel. I don't know yet if I'm going to turn it all the way if I'm just going to leave it alone, or if I'm going to start pushing some Jeep stuff. I do like, I think I do have a Jeep. I'm thinking about doing some stuff to it and kind of going on the Christmas light theme. So that's the reason why I'm going to keep that. Do I use digital timers? I use the photocell timers. This is the timers that I use. Just the simple photocell with the 4, 6, 8, 12 hours dusk to dawn timer. That's all I ever used. They usually last 2 years, maybe 3. And that was my biggest pain point of having callbacks usually was that stupid timer. But we had lots of customers, and I like $10 timers. I never seen the benefit of having a high dollar timer versus that $10 timer. Just a $10 photo cell timer from Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon, any of them have them. So that's what I went with. But again, we will be having a Christmas light training in the spring. If you are looking to do Christmas night training. It will be in Raleigh, North Carolina. It'll probably be the first week of March, first week or two of March is where it's going to be at, and we'll be having an in-person class. You learn all the stuff you need to be able to do it, how to do it, how to do it safely, and then actually get to do it. Whenever I do training, that is how my training works. Is you get to do it, because when you get to do it, you learn a lot better. So you don't only get to see it, but you get to do it. So with that said, I'm going to jump off here. I'll be back live at 9 o'clock for the pressure washing. You can go check that out at pressurewashhelp.com/YouTube, and I'll see you there. Have a good night. Have a Merry Christmas if I don't see you after that. And I don't probably won't be on next weekend, next Thursday, because it is Christmas Eve. So I'll see you, and I won't see you after that because it'll be New Year's Eve. So it'll probably be up to the first year. I do have some videos coming out. I think I got 3 or 4 videos. I'll probably put them out on every Friday, and so that way every Friday I will have a video come out. Thanks for the help, Jason. Very venture. Yes, that is correct. $250,000 gross. Now he had a lot of profit into that though, because you look at about a third of that went to labor, and about less than a third of that went to um, uh, cost or product. Awesome. We do that every year. So let's grow it.